Don't fade me, bro. This is the WeWin Sports Podcast.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the WeWin Sports Podcast. It's March Madness. Today, we'll give you our 30-second rants. We'll give you our two best bets of the week. David Woodley started Speed Survivor. I invested $100,000 in cash. And Woodley is CEO, founder. Website is speedsurvivor.com. Woodley has great knowledge and sharp takes. Brandon Cantu is a two-time World Series of Poker winner and has a World Poker Tour title as well. Cantu always has some well-thought-out takes. Mike Matusow, who's sick as a dog and in a lot of pain, but showed up anyway, is a four-time World Series of Poker winner. Mikey knows sports, studies sports, and watches more games than all of us combined. Okay, guys. I know you hate it when I show fun stuff on the fucking podcast, but here we go. Here's my suite in Reno. Oh, wait.
Ooh.
There's a pool table in my suite.
Ooh. Mike's going to be shooting, or Phil's going to be shooting a lot of pool.
And they gave me this other, this room over here in the corner. I have that room too. It's the room next door. There's the bar. I don't know if you can see way over there. Are you guys seeing way to the end of the hall? It's just this massive room, windows on both sides. We're here shooting Poker Night in America. Jungle Man's here. Juan Lu's here. My son Philip is here. And Peter Koss is here and some others. Okay, Mikey, let's go to you for your rant. What do you got for us?
My rant is on people who have been ripping on Bronny James. He scored 39 points yesterday in the G League. He's the only 20-year-old since the G League has been formed to average over 20 points a game during the season. His last game, he played in the NBA, he scored 17. I've been saying it forever that the guy had cardiac arrest. He missed 18 months basically of his career trying to recuperate from cardiac arrest. And I really think that he's going to be a really solid rotation player. And for the people that have been ripping on him, go Bronny.
Okay, I like that. Hey, Woodley.
Yeah, my rant is on the Minnesota Twins ownership group, the Pollads, who are awful humans.
Are they awful humans?
Well, they are, and I'll get there in a second. But it came out 6 months ago they were going to sell the team, which was great because these guys have no desire to win. You know, a couple of years ago, the team won their first playoff series in literally decades. And then what did they do the next year? They slashed payroll by 30 million, by 30%, right? And they gutted the team for no reason at all. You know, they were sitting in 15th in payroll. Now they're 20th. No reason, right? Tax funded stadium. The family bought it a long time ago. It's just, it's depreciated up the ass. There was a report in the New York Times, though, that the sale is probably not going to happen because they're asking too high of a price. They have more debt. Somehow they have $450 million in debt with the team, which is insane because they actually don't spend any money. And then they want their half-wit grandson, whoever buys it, they want their half-wit grandson to stick around to still run the team, which it makes no sense. Okay, so you have this generational family. They made their family foreclosing on farms in the Great Depression. And one generation has just been worse than the next. They just fucking terrible ownership. They need to sell the team. Now they're being greedy. They had a buyer lined up, that guy that owns the Suns, but they fucking ran him out. Now he's putting money into the White Sox. Now we're stuck with a stupid ownership group for another 5-10 years. Phil, I'm begging you. You know all the good billionaires in America. Round them up. Get them to buy the Twins. And I will work for them for free for 5 years to help everything. But it's the worst part of sports sometimes is these owners that just don't give a shit. Just sell the team to someone that will give a shit and get done with it. And the Twins aren't the only ones. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. I mean, the Oakland A's. There's NBA teams out there. There's been hockey teams out there. I mean, I don't. It's just very upsetting to me that there's zero for us to look forward to now for the next several years, because in baseball you have to spend money to compete, and they're not going to do it. So,
okay, well, I don't know if I want to correct anything, but I do think that it was Justin Ishbia, the brother of Matt, that was thinking about investing money in.
Sorry, it was the brother. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
And I think they had $425 million in debt. By the way, you didn't mention they were asking $1.7 billion. Sportico says they're 1.65. But anyway, I just happened to read this article, so I know a little bit about it. I read the article because someone on this podcast was doing their rant on it. Cantu, what's your rant?
Well, someone offered, but the thing is, someone offered 1.5 billion, and they said it was a non-starter, and like that's like,
Yeah.
Just if you're gonna sell the team, like sell the team. But then this comes out today, and it's just like it pours cold water on everything, and it's like, listen, just sell it. Just find a buyer. Like sell it to someone that wants to make like it's impossible to lose money with these franchises. Phil, you're friends with these owners. Like you're friends with these owners that actually like this shit. They like going to the game. They like winning. Like it shouldn't be that hard to find people that want to do this. I mean, it's just it's to the average fan.
Call
It's just
Sean
depressing.
Perry. He'll buy it.
Hey, Cantu, you got a rant for us?
Yeah. My rant is on my first good part of the rant is baseball season starts this week. It's sunny outside. I'm happy. Could not be more happy, actually. The baseball is back. Woohoo. More picks coming that way. Second, college basketball, the waste of my weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the most boring first weekend of the tournament in history. If you love 30-point plus games, if you love the spreads weren't even close, favorites just smoked them, no upsets. On one half of the bracket, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 6. That's one half of the bracket. You got barely. You have like 2 6s that made it through, and I think a 10, and that's about it. It was so bad. The games weren't competitive. They weren't competitive. And we all love to see the little Johnny University hanging out and, hanging with these teams and getting us a nice buzzer beater. There was one buzzer beater. It was the Colorado State Maryland game. There's not really that many Colorado State Maryland, big fans right now. I don't know. Did anybody even care about that one? It was terrible. Awful weekend.
Not one top Power 5 conference team made the Sweet 16 for the first time in NCAA history.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. It's so I can't quite understand why it is 1, 2, 3, 5. It is 1, 2, 5, 6. Like so many favorites are through, and I think it was just a little bit more boring. I'm with you, Cantu.
Money buys championships.
Yeah,
buddy.
I was wondering if the NIL, has had a
All the
piece of
number
that.
The NIL though, it's been around a few years though, and last year, 2 years ago there was 2 4s, a 5, and a 9. Last year I think was like a 1, 2 4s, and 11 or something. I mean, it's just a bad year. It feels like.
I agree that I think it was a bad year, but all number 1s made it through. All number 2s made it through. I mean, it's a lot of chalk.
Okay,
Why
here's
I'm
my
in dead
rant.
last in my contest.
Here's my rant. I bet all the smart picks this weekend. All the smart picks. I said, you know what? I don't know enough about college basketball. I admit it. I'm going to bet all the smart picks. And I lost and lost and lost and lost a record number. And finally, I'm like, you know what? Maybe these guys are just unlucky bettors. Mike Matusow's an unlucky bettor. So whoever I was listening to, unlucky. So I said, you know what? Let me take a look at the board here. Spent an hour or two, decided Connecticut cannot be a 9.5-point favorite because their coach is too good. And so I bet big on that game. Decided Duke was so good that I had to lay the 12. They won by 20. So I made 2 big bets to recover about half of my money, but not quite half of my money. So fuck it. I'm a lucky bettor. And speaking of lucky bettors, here comes my number 1 pick. I'm taking Duke, laying 9.5 points. And let me just tell you, last year I watched Connecticut win every game by at least 20 points. Now, if someone said, hey, Phil, they only won one by 19, okay, fine. I think that's wrong. But they won several games by 30, 40 points. I mean, they just blew everybody out. I think Duke is that good, and they have the best basketball player in college basketball. So that's my pick. Duke, minus 9.5 comments.
Let me tell you what I think about that. I like it, and here's why. I was looking at Tankathon this morning, and Duke this is coming out in this college class. They got Cooper Flagg, the number 1 overall pick. Con Knippel, number 6. Number 7 is Kaman Malak. They've got the number 40 pick, Isaiah Evans. Sion James
Wow.
is the 50 pick, and they have Tyrese Proctor, the 53 pick. That's 5 players in the top 53 of picks. I don't think I've ever seen that. Not in basketball, at least. I like it. I'm
Wow.
going to follow it. That is just too much talent.
I want to say this. This podcast has been hot. People at home might not have noticed that. I think I might have given 5 out of 6 winners. Cantu's given a bunch of winners.
I was 2-0.
I
Woodley.
was 0 for the world last week.
I think
Well,
Woodley
Mike,
was
you're
2-0. Weren't you, Woodley?
Yeah, everybody's crushing except Mike the unlucky better. Mike, speaking of
Alan
unlucky
Boston
betters,
came out
I-
today.
I
Alan
want you
Boston
guys-
came out today and said he didn't win a single pick. Like he posted
Yeah.
on Twitter. He's like, I don't think I won a single pick. And as soon as I read that, I was like, oh, poor Mike. Because Mike,
Hey, you want to hear the funny part, you guys? So I'm listening to Colin Cowherd this morning, and he brings up a quote unquote one of the sharpest college bettors in the world going 1-12 this weekend. I wonder who he was talking about.
it was definitely Boston. I mean, Boston.
Well, no
came out
shit.
and admitted
I
it.
know he
mean,
was
you know,
talking, and and he was like gloating how he has 15 of the 16 that he picked in the Sweet 16. Well, I mean, when over half the people's brackets have 15 of the 16 left, it goes to show you that like Phil should be very wealthy from this tournament.
I should have been wealthy because I should have been, but I decided to listen to the smart money. At least I took the underdog in Connecticut. Mike, what do you think of this Duke pick, first of all?
I actually don't like it at all. I was leaning towards that being my number 1 Arizona, but I backed off of it. The reason why is the squares like you, knowing that Duke is the team that people would like to bet on, and all the squares are going to bet on, and they factor that into the line when they open it and make it 9.5. The true number is probably around 6.5. So give me the 9.5.
Okay, Mikey. Mikey, so I just want to tell you guys, the lucky better me is taking Duke, laying 9, and the unlucky better Mike, who's like 34 bets below 0 since the podcast started.
I'm just
loves
saying,
the
like,
other
if you don't think that number is already factored in, like, you're just an idiot. So
you're so like, it's just so illogical with you sometimes. Like, you actually almost had a point there. Like, I can almost understand, but to imply the true number is like 6.5, to imply that like Vegas is adding on like 3.5 points. I mean, do you know
2
what, like,
points,
the spread,
maybe the number 7.5.
No, dude.
Yeah,
do you know what the spread difference is between 9.5 and 6.5? That's that you're laying 60 cents juice on that, Mike. Like, they're not doing that because there's too much sharp
Too
money
much.
out there. If
much.
if they were a point off on this game, every sharp in the world would be hammering Arizona. The reality is, there's so much money coming in there. There's so much sharp money coming in. The number's right. It's one of these spots where it's like, don't overcomplicate it. I watched a lot of Big 12 basketball this year. Arizona is like okay. They're not that great. Like, Caleb Love is kind of like, they kind of live and die by Caleb Love, but Caleb Love is like the most frustrating player you'll ever
But
watch.
they also have some size to defend a little bit against.
No, they have
Duke.
some size to defend, but like the only way they stay in this game is if Caleb Love like goes off, and I don't see it. I think they can neutralize him pretty easily. I like Duke by a lot. I think Duke is going to it's gonna be a snooze fest for them to get to the finals at this point. I don't see one team that could beat them. I think maybe like I think Houston could give them a good run.
I mean,
in the final.
Alan has 3 number 1s in our group pick and 1 number 2, and he has Alabama beating Duke and going to the finals against Florida.
The guy that's
1
1
and 12
says that Duke. Okay, well, we got all of us over here, and we got 0-11. You know what's the best part about Mike is the only one that Alan won. Mike didn't bet it. It was that Kentucky game, I believe, and Mike didn't wake up in
The
time.
truth.
Well, Mike's lucky he has an unpopular take to the finals because you're in dead last. The last thing you want is chalk. You couldn't win if it was all chalk. So that's actually good for you, Mike.
All right, hey, listen,
Can't win anyways. I meant
Cantu,
dad.
you got a pick for us, and then Mike, I'm going to your pick next. Cantu, what do you got?
Number 1 pick, I'm going Michigan plus 8.5 against Auburn. I don't believe in the Bruce Pearl effect. Yes, he's a cute recruiter for Auburn that loves to scream and look like a cartoon character and stomp his feet on the sidelines. I just don't think they're that good. I don't think they're going to win it all. I don't even think they get out of the weekend to the Final Four. I like Michigan plus 8.5.
Woodley, thoughts?
Yeah, this was actually my number one pick as well.
Wow.
Two number
but it's
ones.
tough. I mean, the SEC is so loaded this year. I mean, it's like they got 7. I mean, and again, yeah, they broke the tournament record with 7 teams, but it's also like that conference has what, like 20 plus teams at this point. So it's kind of like, okay, but they got 7 teams through to the Sweet 16, and Auburn is the number 1 seed. You know, they're the best of the bunch, so you have to give them a lot of respect there. I just think that I can't remember if it was 8.5 or 9.5. There's 9. No, it's 9. I see it 9.5 at DraftKings.
Ooh,
So
even better.
9.5.
I'll take the 9.5 then.
yeah, I'm gonna take the 9.5. And you know, Michigan has kind of defied a lot of the odds. Like they're just kind of this team on a roll all of a sudden. They had a really good year. You know, they won the Big Ten tournament when I think they were like the 3rd or 4th best team in it. You know, they got a 5 seed, which was pretty disrespectful to them.
Yeah.
They beat a really, really, really good UC San Diego team. And then I can't remember who they beat the other day, but they you know, they handled them as well. They're kind of on a roll. I don't know if they'll beat Auburn, but they'll keep it close. They're playing good ball. They got some size. And I think in the tournament, it's all about size and defense. And I think they'll keep it close. I don't think they win outright, but 9.5 is a lot of points. I mean, we've seen all these games. Like, you know, and there's like a psychological thing there too. Like, I like Duke 9.5 because I think Duke legitimately will be up like 20 points with like 5 minutes to go. I hate being on a team that at 9.5 and they're only up like 11 or 12 points with like 2 minutes left. I mean, how many times have you seen it where you just like, it just all goes to shit at that point. But I think this is a game that it's going to be relatively close, maybe a little bit back and forth. I would maybe even sprinkle the money line there too. At plus 330.
I agree. I was just going to come back and say that, Woodley. Our brains are on wavelength. That's exactly what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
What's the money line?
Plus 330.
330.
Yeah, just
Wow,
sprinkle a
330.
little
Mikey,
bit in,
thoughts?
maybe 20% bet on that.
I hate to make you guys feel bad, but that was one of my top 2 picks also.
No.
So that's probably a loser.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, I didn't think Auburn played that well in the last game. I thought they pulled away, you know, but I don't know. They lost what, 4 of the last 6 games or 3 of the last 4 going into the tournament. The other team's on a roll. I like the points a lot.
I'm going to take the Michigan 9.5. I think they've been on a roll. No one expected them to win. So disrespectful in the seeding. No one expected them to win the Big Ten tournament. So disrespectful. Wisconsin's a 3 seed and Michigan somehow a 5 seed.
And Wisconsin got the shit kicked out of them, you know.
Unfortunately for me, that's my homer team. Okay, so that's a consensus pick.
The only thing that scares me there is that line is 8.5, and now it's moved to 9.5. I mean, that's sharp money moving that this early in the week.
I don't know if it's
you
sharp
agree?
money.
There we go with the
I'm
sharp
being
money
honest, you know.
again.
Well, that's what he was just talking about. Like, Duke's 9.5. How come the line hasn't moved?
I think you should go with Auburn. I think you should go with your gut and go with Auburn there, Mike.
Yeah, don't change anything, you know.
Okay, that's great. So we have a Woodley number 1 pick and a Cantu number 1 pick and a unanimous pick. Michigan. Woodley's also a Michigan homer.
I do want to give a shout out though to Mike because one of his sharps was right. I believe he was 3-0. And Danny, we're gonna need the tweets to put on the screen here. Mike's hero, best friend, mentor, Steve Fezzik gave 3 winners. He had first round Duke money line. Minus 95,
Minus
9,500.
9,300.
93 to 1.
Yeah.
9,300. Yes, he had Auburn money line winner, and he had Florida money line winner, I believe it was. Well, we're gonna have to fact check that.
Yeah,
but congratulations to Mike and Fezzik for, you know, I think they put up $18,000 to win $200. So just great job by Steve Fezzik and Mike.
Mikey, what's your number 1 pick, Mikey?
Well, my number 1 pick is going right back to the SEC. And I think that they got the 2-time champion, went all out. Kind of what Alan Boston said, that Connecticut could beat anybody if they come to play. And they came to play, and Florida was challenged big time. And now they're laying like 6.5. It might be 7 now against Maryland, a Maryland team that should not have beaten a big a Mountain West team. They got the buzzer beater. They're not that good. I think Florida's a juggernaut. You want to talk about teams that I really believe are going to win by a lot? Florida, I think, is going to win this game by 20. And I'll take what I believe is the best team in the tournament and lay the 6.5.
Jesus, Mikey made so many good points that I'm going to have to agree with him on this take. Cantu, thoughts?
Yeah, I watched Florida play, and I know it doesn't mean anything when you watch a 1 versus 16 against Norfolk State. And they only won by like 20, or it wasn't even that bad of a blowout.
26.
I couldn't.
They won by 26. They were 30-point favorites. They were 30.
It wasn't even that big of a big of a blowout. But I watched that game for probably 10 game minutes before you couldn't watch it anymore, and I was in awe of how big Florida is. It looked like the Giants were playing the midgets. I mean, it looked like every player was at least 8 inches taller than the opposing player. They are so tall. They have so much size. They're just so much like, and I know that was a 1 in 16, and you didn't see it as much when they played UConn. They're just so big. They're just so long. I love Florida in this spot. I agree with you, Mikey. I'll take the minus 6.5.
UConn brought it, man. UConn. They put themselves in position to win. The one thing I'll say about what Alan said, I mean, yeah, he had a lot of losses, but like a lot of points, he made some good points. He said, if UConn comes to play, they could beat anybody. And they had Florida on the ropes for most of that game. And I think Florida escaping that game,
Mike, do you think
it reminds me a lot.
Do you think the refs helped a lot in that game, Mike? Because a lot of people are talking about.
I don't ever blame refs, blaming refs is an excuse. But,
I love blaming the refs.
But
Mike
you know
blames
what? The refs every NFL Sunday.
It's just such bullshit.
I only blame the refs because I told you guys that Kansas City was a piece of shit team and they got exposed in the Super Bowl. So, but no, like it reminds me a lot of like when UNLV won their championship in 90, 91, 89, 90, and they had that scare against Ball State, and then they went on and crushed everybody. And I really think that they got a 2-time champion that really felt they could beat Florida, and they had a better coach probably, and they really gave them a shot, and Florida got through. And I just believe, that getting through that game, facing a Maryland team that really should have lost to a Mountain West team. Colorado State led almost that whole game. I think that's going to be a blowout. I really do.
I just think UConn was a joke to be ranked number 8. That was not a true number 1, number 8 like game. I think UConn's supposed to be a top 3 or 4 seed. If we were kind of doing Ellen Boston's real seeds, that you do not. Nobody wanted to play UConn. Just trust me on that. Nobody. Yeah, maybe they skated. They didn't do that well in the regular season. They were ready. They came to play. There wasn't enough. I would not want to. Nobody wants to draw UConn. They're much better than an 8.
Woodley?
They're not. They weren't supposed to be. They weren't supposed to be a 3 or 4 seed, dude.
They should have been about a 5.
They were not one. They were not one of the best 20. They were not one of the best 25 teams in the country. They actually were pretty poor. They were pretty bad.
I think they are
this regular season and everything. And
yeah, well, they did have all new starters, 4 new starters.
They should have lost to Oklahoma. That my Oklahoma Sooners should have beat them. Oklahoma missed like 20 layups that game.
Should have beat them. It wasn't even that close. Maybe they should have made some shots.
It was a 2-point game with a minute left, and then they missed it. Then it was like the classic miss a shot, free throw, miss a shot, free throw, miss a shot, free throw.
Was up the whole game. Maybe they drew within 2 one time there at the end, but they were up 6, 7, 8 most of that game.
They were covering that. They were a 5.5 point dog. That was like one of my picks. They were a 5.5 point dog, and they were like holding in that whole time, but they missed like 20. I'm not shitty. You can go back and look. There was like 20 layups or like within like 3 feet that they missed. But anyways, enough about Connecticut. But no one wants to play Connecticut as an 8, but to say they're a 4 is a bit much. Yeah. I like Maryland here. This is a team that was pretty good in a pretty good conference all year long. They kind of snuck under the radar a bit. They absolutely demolished a really good Grand Canyon team in round 1.
That was big. I agree there.
Mike keeps saying Mountain West. Dude, Colorado State's like a really, really good team. I mean, you want to talk about being underseeded. Like Colorado State should have been like an 8 seed, okay? Because Colorado State was like really fucking good, and they proved it. And that was a really, really, really good game. And and now there's something to be said about having this having this.
No, I get it. The buzzer beater, the
buzzer beater, the momentum.
That he took 3 steps
now
on.
they're truly. Well, whatever. I mean, nobody calls it a travel. I don't like no like.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Nobody calls it a travel, but it was a travel. Yeah.
Yeah, but we call if we call that a travel, then there's 30 travels a game.
Exactly.
I agree.
They got nothing to lose. They're free rolling, and it's this is it. Like there's always a Cinderella team, and there's no like 11 seeds floating around or 13 seeds or whatever. Well, I guess there's an 11 seed, but I don't want to talk. They took out my cyclones. It's a lot of points, and I think Maryland keeps it close. I think Maryland's a pretty good team there. I think Florida is fine, but I think Florida. I mean, they didn't look that great against Connecticut. Like they didn't pass the sniff test to me. And if you're going to discount Maryland for winning a close game, then I don't see how you don't discount UConn or Florida for doing that. So,
Woodley, why don't you give us an ad read from our great sponsors, EdgeBoost?
So there's some breaking news with EdgeBoost that's applicable to everybody here. Last week, and this is a deal that was going on for a while, but last week it was officially announced that EdgeBoost is now the official payments provider of the World Series of Poker. That's going to be absolutely huge starting this year and definitely moving forward into the future, just like the ease of use that players can get cash at the cage, can enter the tournaments. We've all played in it a bunch. Like the current system under the old regime wasn't always the best. Okay. And it's nobody's fault there, but the new, GG is committed to doing some really big things with making it easier for players, and EdgeBoost is a part of that. So that's great. I mean, we're all going to be on EdgeBoost one way or another in the poker world. So that's great. Speaking of EdgeBoost, have you ever had your debit card declined at the worst moment, or maybe your PayPal account gets frozen and suddenly you're out of options to rebuy at a casino? Well, today's sponsor has your back. EdgeBoost is the first ever dedicated bank account for gamblers. That's right. 100% approval rate for sports betting, daily fantasy, casino, sweeps, and the World Series of Poker, whether you're online or a brick and mortar spot. But here's where it gets even better. With the EdgeBoost Visa debit card, you can move up to $250K a day and earn cash back on every deposit. It's a no-brainer. Start earning today at edgeboost.bet. Once again, that's edgeboost.bet. And thanks for them for sponsoring it. And obviously, we're pumped for them to become a real awesome partner in the poker world, too. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Okay, guys, congrats to the EdgeBoost. I did talk to the CEO yesterday of EdgeBoost. Senny seems like a really good guy. My agent's meeting with him today. Okay, let's come to the number 2 picks. This is tonight's game, so we have to get this out there. And I keep giving these winners on Golden State, a team which I watch a lot and pay attention to. I'm going with Podz, Brandon Podziemski, over 11.5 points. Tonight, they're playing in Miami. I know that the Warriors players showed up in Miami Saturday night. They probably had a pretty good time down there. That's great. Steph's been a little bit sick.
He rejoined the team today, so I think he's good. He's like, I don't know if he's questionable to play or he's going to play. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I hope he plays. I mean,
the line tells me he's going to play because it's 5.5.
And Miami's it was 4.5 yesterday.
Yeah, it's 5.5 now, and Miami's lost 11 in a row.
Yeah. So anyway, I think Podz is going to have a good game. So that's my pick. I don't know if you guys watch enough Warriors basketball to comment on that.
I've been watching a little bit. I know that they lost the one game, and then they lost a game where I couldn't believe they were 2.5-point favorites over Atlanta on the road, and with no Steph, and they got beat there. And that was a shocking line to me. I couldn't even believe that they could ever be favored over anyone without Steph. But I did see that line today. I was looking at it. I was leaning a little bit towards laying the 5.5. It's a game they kind of need. But it seems like all these teams that need to win games lately are just losing. Minnesota's lost 3 in a row. The Lakers have lost 7 of 10, 3 in a row. I don't know.
I laid 4.5 on this game, Mike, this morning. The line's already moved a whole point. So That's not my pick, but that's just a little bonus. Cantu, do you want to? What do you want to do? I'm going to give you a choice. You can give us your second pick. Woodley or Cantu, anything to say about Podzimski,
Nope.
or do you want to just stay out of it?
No.
You're the Podz
Okay.
expert.
No, you're my Steve Fezzik on this, and I'm your Mike the Mouth. I'll follow you into the gates of hell with your Warriors crop
Cantu,
picks.
number 2 pick. I love it.
Number 2 pick, we've got my red hot Blazers. They're playing Cleveland tonight. No Donovan Mitchell. They are plus 6.5. And let me just say this in our group chat, Denny Avdia. I still have a problem saying his name. It's a hard name to say. A nice little Jewish player over there. He is having what we call a hell of a year. We have absolutely stolen him from the Wizards, where we got him on this next 4-year deal where it's like 12 million, 11 million, 10 million. It's one of the craziest deals, and through it when he's 28 years old. A star is born. I am predicting he plays both sides of the floor. They are a completely different team when they have him on the court. He's playing tonight. I'm expecting a big game. If you like the props, everything over on Denny. I think they win this game outright. They're trying to get that 10 seed. They are not tanking. They're 2.5 out, trying to catch the terrible Suns and the terrible Mavs. Let's go. Let's go, Blazers. Let's see if we get that 10 seed.
I saw, they've lost 4 out of 5, Cleveland. And I know it's a big game for them tonight. So I looked at that game. I've been watching a lot of NBA lately. I'll go with you on that with plus 6.5.
Wow. Mike agrees with Cantu. It's never happened before. Woodley.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll ride with Cantu and Mike and Stu and Ben. They're big fans as well. I've heard more about this player than any other.
He's talked about
What's his name?
Denny Avdia.
It's a good story. I mean, no, it's a great story. It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Like I now know a lot about him, and I know a lot about Phil's guy Podzinski or whatever. I guess
Podz.
Yeah.
It's like I looked at a lot of NBA. Today it's like the one thing you could say. You said the terrible Mavericks. Well, I mean, they got Anthony Davis back and they won by 100 yesterday, and he is not playing tonight. And
he needs a night off. Needs a night off.
Well, I mean, they don't.
He has some rest.
Well, they don't want it. They don't want him to get injured. So the Knicks are 10.5. I kind of like Dallas again in this back-to-back, even without Davis, because like just getting him back and then truly believing, like if you listen to what Davis said after the game, he goes, "We are all out to get into this playoffs."
Well, you're not all out if you're taking the night off. Come on. What are you saving yourself for when you're 33? I mean, what are we saving ourselves for? You're trying to make the playoffs. To me, that is what is wrong with the NBA right there, Mike. I mean, come on.
I understand, but you can't just force a guy back that's missed a month and a half into playing a back-to-back.
He can't play 15 minutes?
And
Come
there's
on, 20
there's
minutes?
11 games. There's 11 games left. 12 games left, and they're tied with the Suns. And I think, did the Suns lose last night? I know the game was close. I didn't.
They won.
They won.
Well, for my sake, I hope they do make the playoffs, Mike. I really do, because then our last longer bet between Lakers and Dallas, I got to be like minus like 800 in that. If they,
I don't know. The Lakers defense has fallen off a cliff, and they can't beat anybody. So,
dude, Mike, Anthony Davis comes back for one game. Anthony Davis comes back 1 game, and Mike is back on his. Danny, get the tweet about how you don't know ball if you don't agree that Dallas is the favorite to win the NBA championship.
Danny,
I'm glad
put that tweet up, Danny, that you don't know ball. That's my favorite tweet of 2025.
Whatever.
You don't know ball if you don't think the Mavericks are the favorites to win it all.
Whatever.
Okay,
it's easy to say when they lost their best player to injury.
Guys have to help me out here. So where are we on our picks? Who gave 2 picks? I gave 2.
My number 2 pick was Michigan.
Mike gave 2. Cantu gave 2.
Can I just give one quick stat? The Mavericks, Mike, to make the playoffs are plus 1,400. You can bet it right now because you love those Mavericks to make the playoffs, or you can bet the don't at 100 to 1. So that's your odd 14 to 1 if you think they're going to squeeze in. They've only got to win 2 out of 3 and get the 10 seed. So
they could easily get the 9. They could get the 9 seed. I mean, Sacramento loses every game, so they could easily get the 9. Okay. And then they'd only have to lose 2 in a row.
Well, there's your 14 to 1 bet for you, Mike.
It's not a bad bet.
My number 2 pick is we're gonna go to the Diamond. Baseball starts in 2 days, by the way, and nobody really cares.
Who cares?
I brought it
The
up.
Dodgers are going to play like the Red Sox in the fucking World Series. So who cares?
Baseball is my favorite sport on this planet. My kid has his first baseball practice today, so it's very nice and heartwarming.
How old
And
were they?
I love 5
T-ball.
They don't even do T-ball. They go straight to baseball at his school. Cantu,
Wow.
it's a pipeline.
Okay.
It's a pipeline. Maybe your kids can coach him someday. I know your kids are really good at baseball. They've done a really bad job of getting people hyped up. I guess technically the season started last week when they played some games in Japan at like 6 in the fucking morning.
The
Eastern
Dodgers
Standard Time.
won
Like,
both of them by 100.
nobody watched. Nobody cared. The
Nobody
Dodgers
here
won.
watched. Nobody here.
Again, it's the Dodgers.
watched both of
wow,
them.
Yeah, they won both. Ooh, the team that spent $1 bajillion, and they're actually not paying any of it until like 2087 somehow because it's so dumb MLB.
I mean, there is one thing about the Dodgers is like the Dodgers are talking about not pitching Shohei, which is kind of shocking to me. But they think that it's going to take away from his hitting, and they have all the pitching in the world anyways.
I mean, it must be nice just to have an embarrassment of fucking money and riches where you don't have to pitch like one of the top 5 pitchers in the entire MLB. Anyways, it is starting. I will be watching.
Everything's
even though,
due in
like,
2087.
It's
Yeah,
true.
it's-
I
It
agree.
is. It's crazy.
I'm on Woodley's side here. That's why I have no interest in baseball, which was my favorite sport for years.
I can't believe
Ohtani's
they didn't
bookie.
change the rule on that at least.
Ohtani's going to be getting that money just when it's like bookies getting out of jail.
Will
you
Bobby
know,
Bonilla still be getting paid when he gets paid?
Bonilla's still on the payroll. Yes, he is.
No, I think it ended like a couple of years ago.
Bonilla's got a few more years. But it is baseball, so I am a little bit excited, even though like obviously I'm down on the Twins a bit this year. But I am going to go with a long shot homer pick with the Twins. Joe Ryan, 45-1 to win the AL Cy Young. Joe is a really, really, really good pitcher. He got injured last year. It sounds like he's coming back fine. Like, he's starting the season fine. If there are no injury concerns, like he would legitimately be probably 15-1 or lower. So you're kind of gambling a bit on a pitcher's health, which is always risky. But if he's healthy, he's a top 5 pitcher in the league, which puts him in the running. And I think the biggest reason I like this is because I think the clear favorite to win the Cy Young, Garrett Cole, is out for the season now. So it's very wide open, in my opinion there. So you can get Joe Ryan at 45-1 at FanDuel, and he's like 30-1 elsewhere. But I really like that one. And the thing is too, is like, it helps that he's on as down as I am on the Twins. Like, I think they're actually going to win the division because that whole division is kind of garbage. So, he should be on a good
Over
team.
Detroit?
Yeah, over Detroit. Dude, Detroit's like, I think Chicago, Cleveland's like this.
Detroit's on the. They got some young up and coming players. I can't wait to talk baseball.
Don't Detroit still return the Cy? Didn't he re-sign with them, the Cy Young Award winner?
I thought Cole won the Cy Young.
No, the guy from Detroit, Screwball.
Oh, Screwball. Yeah, I think he's there. Yeah, I mean, listen, Detroit. I think Detroit's fine. But they're all these. The problem with all these AL Central teams though is none of them want to spend any money. So it's just like, and because none of them spend money, they all use the other ones not spending money as an excuse not to send money. So it's just kind of frustrating there. But
I mean, Cleveland, Detroit, and
gonna be a tough division,
and
actually.
Kansas City made the playoffs last year, and you just all of a sudden think Minnesota, who didn't spend any money, is going to just fly by these three teams.
They're plus 210.
They're plus 210, and the Royals and the Tigers are both plus 270, and the Guardians are plus 300.
That's a tough division.
It's actually a wide open division.
Yeah.
It's a wide open division.
Oh, wow, so they are the favorites.
Yeah, anyways, my point is they should be in contention. They should be able to get him some wins. Wins aren't a pitcher stat, but people still like the wins. They should be able to get him some wins. He can go deep into games. 45-1, like, I'll take it all day long.
I love that pick. It was interesting listening to you guys because Mike was making all these great points why Minnesota wasn't the favorite, and then Woodley put the phone up.
They are the favorite.
Plus 210.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mike sounded really smart, but
I
you
like
can't
the way
argue with the
Detroit
math.
finished the year last year. I think their manager is by far the best manager of all in that division. And And managers mean a lot in baseball.
By the way, I gotta give a quick bonus pick. You guys, it's killing me. Mariners opening day. Logan Gilbert, first time opening day starter, -170 bonus pick. Anyways, against the A's.
Okay, guys. All right. So we're probably going to end up ending a little bit early today, but it's a little bit too early to end. So
I feel so sick. It's for you. I would do anything to go lay down. So
okay, Mike. So why don't you, Mike? Does anybody have any other picks? I guess that would be my question. We've never done a podcast less than an hour. We're at like 42 minutes.
I mean,
I have to literally, just so you guys know at home, I need to be filming. I need to be there in 48 minutes.
Yeah,
I haven't even showered yet. So
I was supposed to be there with you.
I was rushing it along for you. For Woodley's got to go early. Phil's got to go early. Mike's sick. I could spend all day with you guys, but it's up to you guys.
I mean, I really feel sick. I'm very worried about myself. I'm really struggling.
Yeah,
with
go
some
rest
stuff.
up.
Right, go rest up. Run along. Go
Thanks,
run.
guys. I love you all.
Yeah. Leave your
Mike, you
computer
can
on.
go.
Leave your computer on.
Hey, Woodley, you have one more pick for us or no?
I could give another. Yeah, I could give another one. Let me. I mean, I got kind of. I give Mike this. Like, he always sounds so convicted. He actually had me, even though I know what the Twins were the favorite to win that division. They have been.
I know.
All offseason. He actually. He made me doubt myself.
He
And
sounded
I was
so
just
smart.
like,
Yeah, I looked it up as
Yeah.
soon as Woodley did. I'm like, that's just not true. And I did exactly Woodley, and I was ready to fire those exact same lines. I'm
stolen bases. I saw a guy tweet about this yesterday when it was like 80-1. Now it's down to 40-1. Ellie De La Cruz is like -120 to hit stolen bases, and he will hit that if he stays healthy. He will get that if he stays healthy. But there's another guy out there too, Victor Scott too, where it sounds like he's made the ball. The major league team, if he can stick up all year and stay healthy, he's gonna give him a run for the money. Like, he's really, really, really fast. He plays for the Cardinals. And
Who was it? You said? Who'd you say?
Huh?
Who did you
Victor
Hey,
Scott.
Woodley and Cantu, listen to me one sec. I really have to go at this moment, but I think you guys should talk a few more minutes of baseball and then wrap up the podcast. It doesn't always have to end with me. So I'm going to pop off. You guys keep talking about a few more baseball picks, because I think I know nothing about baseball, so I'm not going to have much discussion anyway. Wish me luck today, guys. My son's filming. It's only 25:50, but Juan Lu's here. It's going to be fun. See you guys.
Have fun.
Yeah. He played. I mean, he.
I'm not
what
familiar
did he
with
do-
him,
what
so
did he
I'm
do last
learning.
year?
I'm learning with you. I'm not familiar with him. With the one I
Yeah,
like, can I give you a quick?
He's fast. I mean, he's fast. He stole.
A lot of bases.
MLB career stats. Yeah, he's stolen a lot of bases. His key is he's gonna have to stick in lineup. The problem is he hits like him hitting 200. Like, he's got to hit at least like 200 to stick in the majors, and that's the thing. But it's a long shot bet. I mean, that's what it's there for, right?
I'm going to give you another long shot bet that I don't think should be this long shot. And I know everybody's like, Dodgers are a lock. Dodgers are a lock. You can get my second favorite team, and then my second favorite team, just because I just like the players. They're exciting. My Padres, my second favorite team.
Ooh.
Plus 1,000. That 10-1 is a lot. That is a stacked team. They're just so much fun to watch. Stacked team. It's just, I've seen it so many times. Maybe never quite a team as good as the Dodgers, but there's always these teams that are like, look at the Yankees year in, year out. Look at some of the other Dodgers teams. They don't always just win the division. They're both going to make the playoffs. I'd be shocked if either one didn't, but you know what? Padres win 100 games might just be enough. What do you think?
Yeah, it's
10-1's a lot.
The playoff format doesn't help them, right? Because it's going to be pretty hard for I like the team. I think they're really good. I think they're just in like the wrong division at the wrong time.
Yeah.
It's looking this up. To win the division. I thought you were saying win the
No, just the division. They're 10-1 to win the division for the Padres with how good they are and how stacked they are. Nice young players coming off Rookie of the Year, Jackson Merrill.
I kind of like them better. They're like 14-1 to win the pennant. But
You like it
it's a
better to
tough
win the
division to
pennant,
win, man.
huh?
It's a tough division to win. I mean, like, I don't know how you're gonna you're gonna have to keep pace with the Dodgers. The Dodgers over 162 game sample size they're gonna win more games than the Padres unless a lot of things go right and wrong. But in the playoffs, you're talking about high variance, 3, 5, 7 game series. I don't even know what the format is. They change this stupid things all the
It's
time.
the same format.
But you can get hot in a 7 game series. I mean, this is why in MLB, like a lot of times, like the best team doesn't win, right?
Right.
I kind of,
Padres,
I'll tell you on it.
All right, I like
But
that.
I like the pennant better. I like the pennant bet better.
Padres to
honest.
make the playoffs are plus 110, which
Well, I like that.
I don't.
I like
It's funny.
that.
I don't think I like that.
That's a tough division, though,
It's a
man.
tough division. The
Diamondbacks are
yeah,
good.
tough division. I like winning the division somehow better than plus 110 to make the playoffs, just because you do have the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, and there's always like a division that has like two incredible teams. It could just come out of like the East or the Central this year and somehow squeeze the Padres out.
Well, it's a good point because how many wild card teams are there now? There's like 4.
No, 3, 4 division,
Three?
four
Okay,
division
3.
winners and 3 wild cards. But
There's 3 division winners.
But the National League is stacked, right? I mean,
Yeah, so you look at like who those okay, you look at the teams that'll definitely make the playoffs, right? Like Dodgers, all right. Braves and Phillies and Mets, all right.
that
So
is a
that's 3
stacked.
right there.
That's a
That's 4
stacked
right there.
division too.
So
Like,
the East is going to get 2 of those wild cards. And then it's like, does that mean there's only 1 wild card left?
yeah, it's really a weird year where I don't like
Are you
Padres.
sure it's
plus
not 4? It's 3. Yeah,
It's
it's 3. I'll be
3.
damned. Dude, so like, okay, so yeah, I don't know. I don't like that.
I don't like to make the
bet
playoffs.
anymore.
I like to win the division. It's
Because you got Atlanta, the Mets, and the Phillies, right? So 2 of those are going to be, by nature, going to be in hunt for the wild card. Then you have the Diamondbacks, all right? So that's 3. Then you have the Giants, who actually are okay. That's 4. And then, like, I
It's
don't know what
crazy.
the fuck is going on in the I don't know what the fuck is going on in the Central, but like the Central's kind of dog shit. So
Yeah.
you could easily have a scenario too where it's just like the Cubs and the Brewers, everybody else is like way down here, and but they both get there too. So I mean, yeah, the Cubs are okay. I mean, the Brewers are okay. So
it's a
yeah, you know
tough
what, like,
it's a tough National League this year.
I think winning the division is the angle. Actually, now that I think more and more on it, actually, I don't like them winning the pennant anymore. I like them winning the division.
Yeah.
And that's
It's kind of interesting talking it out because I don't know. It's tough. It is tough. Dodgers.
God, that's a tough league, man.
Yeah, it is.
The AL is dog shit. The AL is dog shit this year, dude. Like the Yankees are like whatever. I mean, yeah, I don't think the Yankees are that good this year. The Astros are kind of fading a bit.
I got to talk.
Orioles, okay. Orioles are good.
I got to squeeze in. I think the Orioles they're one of my favorite teams too, just because I like a lot of the players. I like Adley as an Oregon State guy. But I got to talk to you. We haven't really got to talk about my Mariners. That's my true love, my favorite team right now in all of sports. Boy, it's just been hard luck for me the last 25 years. What do you think? Do you have any good Mariners? They're minus 110 to make the playoffs, and I want to bet it so bad, and I don't like it. They always come in the seed. If there's 7 teams, they love to get that 8 or 9th team. They're always 1 or 2 away. It just seems like every year.
I don't know, man. I hate them. I mean, I like them, but I hate them. They always miss the over under by 1 or 2 games. They always miss the playoffs by 1 or 2 games.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, I'll do a homer one on that. It's Cal Raleigh's an interesting one there too. He had 100 plus RBIs last year, and this year's over under is 80.5. So 80.5. I mean, I think he's still hitting cleanup in that lineup. Someone's got to hit these guys in. Sure, I'll take the Mariners, but I don't like it. I mean, they're
pitching.
They're just
so
not
good.
that
pitching so good.
They gotta dude. They got the talent there, but it's a lot of guys took steps back last year, and they need those guys get their shit together. Starting out with Julio Rodriguez, as Julio goes, so will the Mariners. And Julio is a guy that
Ever since
yeah,
he started dating that white American soccer player, Woodley. Have you noticed this? His decline has been like this when he should be on the incline. I'm hoping he breaks up with her and figures that out. You know, he's got to get back to really focused on baseball.
He's 20-1 to win the MVP. So he's like an MVP caliber player when he's on. So I mean, yeah, I think as he goes, so does
the guy
man, dude,
only
the AL
plays good.
The AL is very boring. The AL is like not exciting this year. I'm just like you got like Bobby. Aaron Judge is obviously great. Bobby Witt's great, and then I don't know, the star power really like drops off from there.
Julio
like
was
Mike
supposed to be the next big thing, but yeah, it's just not there.
Yeah, maybe he steps up. I'm just looking.
I do like him at 20-1. 20-1's a big number. That I would put that down actually on my list of preseason picks.
Man, dude, and the NL has such sexier players like Ohtani, Soto, Tatis coming back, Mookie Betts, Bryce Harper,
Just got the whole Dodgers
Ellie
lineup.
De La Cruz, Ronald Acuna Jr., who was like an MVP guy a couple years ago, Corbin Carroll, Lindor, Freeman, Turner,
Soto,
Jackson Merrill. Just, dude, what's
all
happening?
the stars are in the NL, and it's usually the other way around. I feel like for years it was all AL.
Yeah, we had a legendary couple decades there, dude. Like now we're the also Rants. Maybe our Mariners and Twins do have a chance to make a run. It's just so dog shit.
The AL is open, and they don't have to play in the AL East, so that gives us that break. You got anything else?
No, yeah, No, I got nothing else.
I think I might go to that. The opening day. I know it's the A's, Mariners. Take the kids. If not opening day Friday, I think I'm going to actually.
I know. I don't know. I usually am a lot more excited. I don't know what it is. I think it's because like we're just like run ragged here. Like we're 5 weeks out from having
162 more games to go.
Yeah. Well, our baby is due in like 5 weeks, so it's like it's just we're getting everything ready, and the other two kids are like at very busy ages, and it's just like MLB. And like I will enjoy sitting on my ass and watching some MLB here soon, so this would be nice.
Yep.
But on that note, this was a good show. Thanks for checking it out. Follow us on socials. Check out EdgeBoost. Follow Cantu and
follow us on Twitter.
Fade Mike them out.
Yeah, Fade Mike. I think he said about everything. All right, later, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys.